to another Rumination Tarot video. Welcome back if you've watched my other handful of videos. If you're new, welcome in general. Glad to have you here. Glad you found my weird little corner of the internet. Yeah, so I'm going to do a reading called What Does the Universe Dream Of? It is a spread that comes in the booklet that you get with the Cosmic Tarot deck. I'm going to be doing all the readings with that deck. I definitely had some technical difficulties with this one, and I'm actually reshooting the intro for it now because I just wanted to give a couple of just little warnings about, well, just mainly for the last reading. So for option number 3, I summed up the video and then had an epiphany and a realization and had to add on more messages, and I think they're really important for summing up the whole energy of that reading. So it's a little longer than usual than the others, but I think it's, if that's the pile you're drawn to, it'll be nice. So yeah, I've got 3 options for you. You can pick them by the cards. I'll pull them up to the camera, but also if you just want to watch the whole video, feel free to do that. I don't know how you like to do it. It's choose your own adventure. But so for your option number 1, selection number 1, we have the Universe card that comes with the Wheel of Fortune Tarot. And yeah, this is a little deck of Major Arcana cards I got from Meow Wolf in Santa Fe. And then for your second option, we have the World from the Star Spinner Tarot. So in most decks, this card is called the World. In the deck we're using for the reading, it's called the Universe. And that's for the universe of you, the universe in you. Your third selection is going to be the World from the Aquarian Tarot. And again, that one I will sum up the video in a very long, awkward fashion, and then I'm going to come back and give you more of a reading. So once you've made your pick, I have timestamps below. I'll put them in the description and in the comment section. I hope you enjoy your reading. Hello, option number 1, people of the number 1 choice group. This is if you chose the Wheel of Fortune Tarot, and I looked it up, so it is the Wheel of Fortune Tarot, and it's by Anne Stavely and Jill Sutherland. And I remembered, so something really cool about this tarot deck, the cards were designed, and it was this huge project that they did. I want to say it was for Burning Man, and they made real door sized, they took 22 doors and put them in a circle and had it so you could spin them around or walk around and choose one, and each one would have one of the Major Arcana cards and a message and an affirmation for you. It was just really cool. There's videos for it online. I'm sure you can look it up. But anyways, that's a little background on how that deck was created. But let's get into your reading. I meant to talk about that while I shuffled the cards, so you would have something to listen to while I did this. But yeah, so I hope you're doing well. I can't remember if I went over this in the beginning, but this is a good reading to do if you don't really have anything specific you're asking about or a situation that you want any advice on. You're not really sure, you just kind of want to see what comes up. It's good for that, but you can always, if you do have something specific you want to find out about, you can think about that while I am shuffling now. So now we're going to go through and find the universe card so we can proceed with the reading. There we are. Not that far away. Let's see if I can put that somewhere you can see it. There we go. Temperance. There we go. Now we can see everybody. Alrighty. So, another thing about the universe or any world card in tarot decks is they represent like a totality and completion, and like in regards to self-development or developing yourself, it would mean that you have reached a state, feel like you're in a state that you are everything that you need, which most of the time we are everything that we need, but we don't always feel that way, right? And a lot of times we're looking for other things to complete us and all that. And the card is just kind of a way of saying either you've completed a really big chapter in your life, or you have just kind of you're feeling like or you are a really well-rounded person. And so that's kind of like the goal of the thing this is talking about, leading up like past events, and then this is kind of like what you have left to feel like you've completed this universe thing. In this deck also, the major arcana line, the journey of the Fool, is considered like a story of going through a dream, and the universe is when you're just about to wake up, or when you are waking up and leaving the dream and returning to reality. So that's kind of like whatever goal or chapter that you're working on right now, whether you're closing it out or just starting it. I'm gonna see if based on the cards I can tell if this seems like something that's kind of ongoing or new. I mean, so we're starting. This is your, the underlying history. So the root of what this is about is reaching a point of burnout and exhaustion, taking on too many burdens. Like this is the suit of the torches, and usually they're all like a flame. The torch is usually on fire. By this point, you've collected so many, you've taken on so much that all of the fire went out on the torches. So, this is, and because Temperance was at the bottom of the deck, I would say this is about achieving balance or getting back to a state of balance. The recent concerns is having to do with like friendships and relationships. The Three of Cups can be about celebration. So this, I think this is saying that if you were experiencing that burnout, right now you have been taking the time to like be with friends and celebrate the good things and collect this emotional abundance as it's like being rained down to you. And I would say, I mean, that's a good thing. I don't know that that's a concern. I think that's a good way to try and recover from being overwhelmed and having too many responsibilities. It could be saying that, okay, you've done that. You've done the having fun. You've spent time with your friends. You've taken that break, vacation. It might be time to get back to whatever goal is like whatever you were working towards before, or what you've decided you need to work towards now that you've had this break. And so maybe one of your concerns is like re-entry back into the grind, so to speak. I'm gonna read the excerpt about the universe. I keep saying the universe from the booklet because it was really nice. And it could be a nice thing to hear at the moment. All right. The dream has ended and it's time to wake up. This is not cause for any sadness. In fact, it's the most wonderful gift, because upon waking, the entire universe is yours to experience. The world is ready for you to join it. The universe comes at the end of a long path. You have faced terrible trials and gone to all of your limits, but every tear and ache has been worth it because you have come to the greatest gift of all. You are alive, you are awake, you are loved, and you are welcome in the universe. So that definitely seems to relate to these two cards: becoming overwhelmed, being pushed to your limit, receding, or not even receding, because I think of this as like socializing a lot, but removing yourself from extreme responsibility and letting yourself be nourished by relationships and tending to your emotions and letting other people help you with your emotions and feelings. Also, I'm just going to hold this up for a minute because I forgot to while I was reading the words about the world. There's, a nice grace of like being balanced between the two. I want to say suns, not even planets, but they could just be planets. And then I just noticed that this like yellowy thing with the clouds is kind of like looking a little bit like our world. And then cool swirl of all the colors, and then again it has the lion, the ox, the human, and the bird. So one of the reasons that this card in most decks is someone who's naked is because, again, it like goes along with that idea that you don't even need any clothing to be complete. Like, okay, sorry about that. We got cut off. I ran out of storage. I thought I had just cleared everything, but I guess I hadn't. Anyways, I was just I think I was talking about how we're complete, like the moment we're born. You're already given everything you need for the life that you are going to have. I keep like missing the ending of sentences and just going on a little bit longer. I hope it's still entertaining. Talking in circles, talking rounds. Okay, so your immediate aims at the moment is being represented by the King of Torches. So it looks like you're trying to master your ambition and like so after your period of burnout, you are trying to get back at it, as we've talked about. And the King of Torches is like a very inspired and passionate and creative individual, and like just like has a fire inside, and has kind of mastered when to follow the inspiration and not be too forceful or reckless or violent. with the energy that like inspiration and the torches suit can be associated with. Because kings are usually about mastery and a bit of like being very solid and foundational. Kings typically sit on thrones. This one, he's not. He's I guess a little bit more active because of all that fire energy. But it's like you want to seize opportunities again and figure out a way to do it where it doesn't overwhelm you and become burdensome. And you've got some help with you. Little kitty companions, or a big kitty companion. Any kind of companions. I'm looking at the like kind of reddish thing that's on his torch. It almost looks like he has like 10, like the 10 of torches, but he is wielding the power over it. Is that a sentence? He is the one in control of it. He's not being weighed down by it. He's figured out a way to like whittle it into this majestic torch, so to speak. Alright, so your long-term goals are being represented by the High Priestess. So this is about like, I love this drawing of it. I don't know that I've gotten to look at it for very long, but I really like this deck's version because of this like door with the person going in. The High Priestess is all about like kind of secret knowledge, I would say, like intuition for sure, but like knowledge of the occult or esoteric knowledge. But it's also like she's kind of like the feminine counterpart to the magician, who is like action oriented and a magical figure, but with like a more masculine energy. This is more of a feminine knowledge, a reserve and receptive things, the kind of things you can learn from sitting with yourself for a really long time and just like searching within you and what kind of things your mind already contains within it if you take the time to unlock that information. And that's also like the kind of knowledge that like there just seems to be like things that all people innately know without ever being told, no matter where they're born in the world. It's kind of crazy. Like there's just some sort of symbols that seem universal. And she may have something to do with that. Some people also say that the High Priestess is kind of like a another version of the Hierophant, which is kind of like a priest or pope-like figure and representative of tradition. She's like, I want to say like more of a dark side to that, but not like in a bad way, just dark as in unseen, and look like she can learn without seeing. It's like she's reading the book, but it's because she already like has that within her somewhere. So your long-term goal could be to really know your inner voice and be able to listen to yourself. And I mean that makes sense. That's a good way to avoid burnout. Listen to yourself when your body is telling you what you can and can't do, and your mind is trying to tell you, okay, I can only take so much. I can't hear any other conversations. I can't hear any more of this or that, whatever it is that like weighs you down. This is the kind of knowledge that if you master it, you will, I mean, obviously we can't avoid problems altogether, but and even like we're probably gonna experience different versions of the same problems, but hopefully not the exact same situation over and over again, you know, like hitting that same point of being overwhelmed and not being able to handle it and taking on too many responsibilities. This is all about learning to just balance. I mean, that definitely is a temperance kind of thing. Knowing your limits. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's going to close it out. Thank you for watching this video and working with me and all of my flightiness. I hope you have a good night or day or afternoon, mid-evening, whatever it is. I hope you're having a wonderful time at the moment, and I'll see you in another video. Hello, welcome to selection number 2. This is for you if you picked the Star Spinner Tarot World. So this is a reading. I don't know how much I remembered to say at the beginning, but this is a reading that's really good if you don't have anything specific that you want to ask about or need advice for, because the way you go about it is that I'm going to shuffle the cards really well and then search through the deck until I find the universe card, and then pick the 2 cards behind it and the 2 cards before it, and that will be the layout of your reading, and it'll tell you like what you're working on at the moment, what you're in the midst of. And the universe is all about totality and completion of things. So if you have your sights set on something, that would be whatever you're trying to complete at the moment. Yeah, and also if you know that there's something that you're working on, you can focus on that while I'm shuffling right now, and hopefully the cards will speak directly to what you want advice about. I think that was everything that I meant to go over. I hope you're doing well. Okay, I think we're good to go. Okay. Okay, so it looks like this is something to do with balancing your material reality, and also what things you have power over in your life, what things you can make happen for yourself, what resources are around you, and how you can use them to make your goals come true, dreams come true. And forgive me if I already went over this in the intro. My brain is all over the place all of a sudden. But the universe in this particular deck, so it's called the Cosmic Slumber. It's kind of like their fool's journey of the entire major arcana cards is like a dream experience, and the universe is when you wake up from the dream. And there's a really pretty write-up on the universe that I'm going to read in just a little bit when we get to it. But for now, let's get back to the root of this situation. So this is the underlying history about your current situation, and you got the Two of Pentacles, which is all about balancing or juggling. So juggling would be when you have like too many things going on and you're like, you want them both, but it's kind of taking a lot of effort to keep both of them going and the momentum and everything. And balance could be like underwhelm, overwhelm, trying to get, right in the middle, hit the sweet spot. I also like that there's like always a infinity symbol. I feel like there's another name for that, but I can't remember it at the moment. I think it's interesting because like pentacles are about material, like wealth or any kind of wealth, and in this deck there's always so much green present that it feels like it's about being outside also and being in nature, because that is the material world. That is like where all material comes from, is the earth or nature in some form or the other. And this person is like out there and immersed in it, but they're so focused on like the sky and the air and just the coin piece of it. So I wonder if like this kind of pentacle could support one of these things for you or for this person while they're trying to, like, maybe both of these things that are going on for you, they really both require a full attention. And so there really might be a choice that needs to be made. I don't always get that feeling with the Two of Pentacles, usually with like the other twos, but I'm definitely getting that. And it looks like, well, now I'm confused, because at first I was like, oh, they're definitely looking at that one, but now I'm thinking they're probably looking at that one. That's the hand that catches, that's the hand that throws. Yeah, so that's the history. Juggling or balancing. I'm gonna go with juggling. That's my gut feeling on this one. And again, maybe they're kind of similar. So your more recent concerns are being represented by the Princess of Cups or the Page of Cups in traditional decks. And this is a very sweet, I feel like pages don't usually look this like serene and calm and settled. Like, I thought this was the Queen for a second. But yeah, the Princess would probably be about some kind of message coming to you, or you giving a message, and it's usually relating to your emotions or relationships. This is someone, she's very nurturing. So I'm kind of starting to feel like recently you have picked one of these coins that was in the air, and you're really tending to that right now. You're really putting, like, water represents emotion, but also just consciousness. So you're surrounded by consciousness and emotions, and you're offering it to someone else. And there's also this like wispy, windy, I mean, this is a very nice feeling. I think it's like you really, even though the winds are kind of like, okay, maybe it's time to move on, you're like, no, I really do need to tend to this. I'm gonna take my crown off for a minute, take a moment. I have enough in my cup to give to another. And this one, or this bird, whatever type, is very representative of like beauty and grace. That's a really nice concern. I don't even know if concern would be the word I would use for it, but that's what this card position is called in this deck. So with those in mind, I'm going to read you the little bit that the book from this deck has to say about the universe. So this is the video where I'm having all the technical difficulties. I keep clearing things off of my memory, but there's not enough room for these length videos. Anyways, so I was getting into reading you the excerpt about the universe, and it stopped right before I started. Nice little interruption there. Okay, so the dream has ended and it's time to wake up. This is not cause for any sadness. In fact, it's the most wonderful gift because upon waking, the entire universe is yours to experience. The world is ready for you to join it. The universe comes at the end of a long path. You've faced terrible trials and gone to all of your limits, but every tear and ache has been worth it because you have come to the greatest gift of all. You are alive, you are awake, you are loved, and you are welcome in the universe. In the universe, so these cards are typically show someone who is naked, and sometimes a hermaphrodite because they encompass a balanced amount of feminine and masculine energy. It's also representative of even without any clothing or anything at all, you are complete. You are a full, entire human at any stage of your life. But especially we're not always going to feel that way though, right? There are going to be times where we feel complete and we feel whole just as ourselves. And so that's what being in the energy of this card represents, of taking a moment and being like, okay, I am complete, I am here. There is nothing required of me except what I would like to do and what goals I would like to achieve. And those are all, they're your choice. So next on your journey to total completeness is the Eight of Pentacles. And this is your immediate aim. So you are balancing a couple of things. You chose something and you've been tending to it very lovingly and focused. This is that work that you've been putting in. Sometimes the character in the Eight of Pentacles is like a guy with a hammer and nails, like he's building a house around him, or this is just some kind of thing that you can touch in the physical world that you've been working on. It could be an art project, something that you're like a fucking statue, I don't know. It could be a house, it could be building up your savings account. It could be anything that you can quantify, I guess. And you're stacking it up. The plans are all made. You know what you're working towards, and now you're just doing the actual work to get it done. And so just before you is the Seven of Pentacles. You were waiting for your crops to grow that you planted. So you had done some work, then you were waiting for the time that needed to elapse for the work to require another step from you, and now you're in the midst of that step. I'm going to say you're already doing the work. There's a chance that you haven't started yet, and this is kind of maybe a little urge a little encouragement that, okay, it's time now. the time that you needed to wait, and the Seven of Pentacles is over and you're up to bat again. Okay, it's your time to start working on this. And so your long-term goal is being represented by the Ace of Pentacles. So that's really interesting because aces are all about potential and the beginning of things. Like, they are a total embodiment of everything that the suit they represent is about. So for this, like, material, physical, money things, but it's like the opportunity of them, the first, like, the first penny that you put into a savings account that you know could eventually be your retirement or something like that. But it doesn't mean that it itself is like the total complete thing. It's just the opportunity for something that becomes that. So it's interesting that that's the long-term goal. And I'm wondering if your goal is to be able to share the wealth that you've accrued. Or like, you want to be the person that's dropping the coin into this hand. You're not the hand that's receiving it. And so maybe that is something that's really important to you to, in the future, be able to give to others. Or to complete whatever project you're working on now so that you can find the next opportunity and start a whole new one. If it's like art-based, like you're about to close out, I'm not going to say close out chapter a million times, but you're about to like finish a huge project and you're already kind of excited for the next one. And those are the two kind of scenarios I'm getting for that, of like, you want to be able to it's also like, I'm wondering if this is you like hiding in the corner, like, let me just like put that $20 on that table over there and wait and see if somebody takes it. And like you don't want them to know it was you, but you want to see their reaction. Yeah, I'm definitely getting that it could be that you want to be able to share the rewards of what you've created and encourage other people to put in that work and do things, work towards their goals too, by being like, look, this is what I did, you could too, here's what I was given to start, your turn. I don't know, that's really nice. Sweet goal to have, though. I like it. And like, look, she's even like holding this, like, who am I going to give this planet to? When do I let go? And it's still kind of like the balance thing is really big throughout this reading. I don't know, that's really nice. I hope it was helpful, or you enjoyed it, or were entertained at the very least. Yeah, I hope to see you in the next one. Have a good night, good morning, good day, good evening, good mid-morning, good middle of the night. Goodbye for real. Hello, and welcome to your reading if you chose selection number 3, the World card from the Aquarian Tarot. This has been the video with all of the technical difficulties. I kind of thought they would all be like this, but this is the first one where my storage just keeps being like cutting off my video, being like, you don't have any more storage, stop doing this. Anyway, so this, if you've watched all of the readings, I apologize. There's going to be a few things that I've repeated every time. Pretty much just, this is a good reading if you don't have a specific situation that you would like to ask about, or anything that you feel like you need advice on at the moment. And it'll just, the cards will bring up whatever you're meant to hear at the moment. If you do have a specific situation or anything going on that you'd like advice about, feel free to think about that as I shuffle the cards. and hopefully the cards will give you some kind of advice on that. There's always the off chance that there's something else that maybe you should be focusing on, but in any case, so the world is all about, or the universe, because this reading is called What the Universe Dreams Of. In this deck, oh, curious to see what that is. 6 minutes. Okay, keep that in mind. The universe, or sorry, in this deck, the Cosmic Slumber, it's like considered to be a dream. The major arcana is like the evolution of the dream, and the universe is when you wake up. And the world in general is, you know, a card about being complete as we are, as we stand, without anything other than just our bodies. Let's see what you've got going on. Okay. Interesting. All right. So, wow, this is something pretty major. This is definitely, because look, there are 6 cards here, and the only one that isn't a major arcana is the 7 of Torches, and so that's the underlying history that surrounds everything on the table. This is also maybe kind of some backup energy. It may be that you want to experience warmth and happiness. I mean, who doesn't? But and maybe this is just kind of an energy that you always have within yourself. It is a really big part of your universe, your internal world universe, is that you are this huggy sun, always hugging the sun. So your underlying history is being represented by the 7 of Torches, and this card is usually about like standing up for what you believe in and like facing opposition. It's when you're kind of getting close to your goal and somebody is challenging you on something, and you're like, it makes you second guess yourself and question yourself, and you're like, should I like lean into this and fight full force and be like, no, this is what I believe, this is what I think, or should I like step back? Is there something that I haven't thought about? Is there some new information I need to take in and change my, maybe not my whole opinion or world on this matter, but do I need to reconsider how like vehemently I fight for this thing that I'm fighting for? Or do I know for like, am I that strong in believing that yes, this is like that convicted, I guess is the word. Like, do I have the conviction that I want to fight that strong and stand up for these opinions or whatever it is. Sometimes I'm trying to think of what, this is the first time I've really looked closely at this deck's version of this card. I was trying to think, sometimes it looks like somebody who's like overwhelmed by options, a little anxious. I think this person is like bearing their torch and fighting for it. But maybe that in the past has been an issue for you of like having too strong an opinion or fighting, like making that opinion heard a little bit too loud. And then like, do you ever like have a conversation with someone and you like take such a really like solid steadfast stance, and then you're like thinking about it later and you're like, oh man, do I really feel that strongly about it? Was I exaggerating? Should I have like cooled it down or toned it down a little bit? And there's nothing wrong with asking those questions, and there's nothing wrong with coming back with, oh yeah, I do feel that strongly about it. It's okay. Questioning can only be a good thing in any kind of avenue, because you are either affirming your beliefs or affirming the thing that you're questioning, or you decide that it doesn't align with you anymore and you want to take a different approach. So for your more recent concerns, we have Temperance. And Temperance is all about balance and maturity. This version of Temperance always looks like bored to me. They're straight up asleep, and it's like they've reached such a state of balance and maturity that they've become disenchanted by the world, or the realm that they're in. I think I'm struggling to see how they all piece together in this one a little bit. This could be that cool out time of like, okay, I've had that conversation, I've done that thing, I've gone to the event, I fought really hard for this thing, and this is you going in, doing that calculating, and that, not calculating, but that ruminating, that pondering and really like thinking over whatever this is about, and really weighing out, how do I really feel about that? How important is it to me? I'm getting the sense that you are probably more action oriented, because just because this is kind of all, the things that seem like they're action oriented are showing up as the like warnings a little bit. I don't even want to say warning, that seems like a heavy word for what I mean, but they're showing up as like the concerns, the past, like why this might be an issue. And then your long-term goal, I'm just going to jump ahead, your long-term goal is being represented by the Empress, which is like the ultimate embodiment of feminine energy and like motherhood and nurturing, but also like a big part of being feminine or embodying feminine energy, however you personally identify yourself. Tapping into feminine energy would be being in a more receptive place rather than like the person that goes out and guns for things. You like let offers come to you. You receive things. I mean, heyo, but feminine energy is about like stepping back a little bit, and that's a power of its own. It's not about being I feel like there's a lot of like negative words associated, like that people say, and they're not even negative, but they just have like connotations about them, like I can't remember it because it's not important. Receptive is a good is a good word for it, I think, because it's inactive, but it's a power of its own. And because that is your like long-term goal, that tells me that maybe it's not in alignment with the very action-y, like steadfast energy of the past. So I say that you're probably kind of reflecting and trying to balance out what makes you want to fight so much and trying to figure out a better way to go about it, something that is a little bit more receptive. I'm going to read a little snippet from the book, the Cosmic Slumber book about the universe, because it's a nice little thing to, I don't know, the words are nice. Words nice. Okay, so the world, the universe. The dream has ended and it's time to wake up. This is not cause for any sadness. In fact, it's the most wonderful gift, because upon waking, the entire universe is yours to experience. The world is ready for you to join in it. The universe comes at the end of a long path. You have faced terrible trials and gone to all of your limits, but every tear and ache has been worth it, because you have come to the greatest gift of all. You are alive, you are awake, you are loved, and you are welcome in the universe. So at the center of everything is you and the universe of you. And the universe is a completely balanced, I mean, I don't even want to say completely balanced, because it's ourselves when we feel whole, just ourselves, without any other additional thing, just literally our body. That's why they're usually represented by a naked person, and it's usually, if they like will show the full frontal, it's usually a hermaphrodite, and that's because they have balanced feminine and masculine energy. So I'm gonna guess that you tend to be a little bit more masculine in your energy, and your current goal that all of this is talking about is maybe even dipping into the like unbalance on the side of feminine for a little while to make up for all of your time in a more like driven, aggressive, masculine energy. And it's funny because the next step on the way to do that is being represented by the Magus, or the Magician, which is kind of a masculine card in itself. It's like about powers and being able to make things out of the resources that are around you. So you could be, because of this more inactive, more reflective temperance mode that you are either still in or have just come out of. Now your goal is to, okay, so what resources do I have around me? Do I have my cup? Do I have my pentacle? Do I have my torch? Do I have my sword? And now that I do have those things, what can I do with them, and how can I make my goals come to be with the things that are within my grasp? And I kind of like that in this Magician, they're like, usually it's like a person in front of a table and they've got like the wand raised over their head high, like I'm about to strike, I'm about to make something happen. Makes me think of like alchemy vibes, but this one is maybe in a more feminine energy. It's like I'm going to do things, but I'm going to sit and I'm going to contemplate how I want to do them. Do it. I'm going to contemplate how to make what I want happen, and what is within my power to bring that into my reality. So it is a more balanced way of doing this. And the Empress again is like also like about motherhood, especially this one. She's literally feeding a child and nurturing a child. And that could be significant too. This is an interesting one. I think there's a lot it could be saying, and I'm definitely kind of all over the place with it, but it feels nice. It feels like I get the feeling you've accomplished a lot, and the reason it's kind of hard to work out what's going on here is because it is something really internal with you, and maybe probably something that I haven't achieved yet. So I'm like struggling a little bit to see what the like encouragement or the warnings are. But hopefully there were some interesting things to think about. This is definitely like, I feel like the whole time this suits the title Rumination, because there's been a lot of just like, what does this mean? It's something big and it's cool. It feels like good. It doesn't feel bad, but it is a little perplexing. I think I'm gonna wrap it up there before my camera cuts out because it's doing really good. But thank you so much for listening to me ramble for a little bit. I've enjoyed making this video. I hope you're having a good night, good morning, good day, good middle of the night, good second breakfast, whenever you choose to watch this. I hope you will be well, and I will see you in the next video. Good night. Wait, I'm back. It just dawned on me. So, the video started playing that I just recorded for this group, and it showed me the beginning where the Six of Pentacles fell out, and it all kind of like went, oh wow, okay, epiphany. I think this is about, you probably were a giver. You probably did a lot of giving, and maybe that was the action that you were taking. And that's what the receptive feminine energy is talking about. And it's so funny because I feel like this is totally a message for me, so it's funny that it like escaped me for so long. Like, it's not a recent thing that I've learned, but like if you give and give and give, it's a total imbalance, and it comes back to bite you in the butt. I don't know, it catches up to you. There we go, catches up to you. And like, you may have to turn inward and do a lot of inner balancing and figure out how you can shift yourself into using your power, not just to give to others, but to create things for yourself. And the sun was at the bottom of the deck, so that's all about your own happiness, a simple happiness. I think this is all about you needing to receive things. It's you've done your phase of giving and giving and giving. It's time for you to start getting back. You've put in that effort, and not that like you have to like full stop be like, everything's about me, I'm never going to give anything to anybody again. It's not like that, but it's just, I think this is saying that it's time for things to start coming to you. And yeah, that's the balance that needs to happen. That's your power now is, you don't have to prove yourself to anybody. You don't have to prove that you're worthy, or you don't have to give things to people so that they will be in your life, or whatever reason it was. Sometimes giving things just makes us happy, but sometimes it's to ignore or avoid having to face ourselves and figure out like what we need. So it could be time, or maybe you're in the process of doing this, to like really sit down and be like, what do I need? happen for me without thinking about how it affects anyone and everyone else. And sometimes just like really thinking about and focusing on what you want and like cutting away if you're really unclear, because I mean I've spent a lot of time being super unclear, and then like a really distant huge goal popped up, and then it was like, okay, then I kind of worked backwards and started to be like, well, what steps can I take to get there? How can I go about things in a way where I don't just keep fighting for no reason and running, like, you know, running into brick walls kind of thing. And once you put that energy out there and use that like manifestation magus energy, then it's time for you to just receive it when it comes to you. And I think that's what this reading was telling you, and I'm glad that I figured that out before the whole video was done and everything. But anyways, sending a lot of love to you, and yeah, start receiving shit. Anyways, good night.